So, what inspired the title "Bury Me with My Screams"?
Shit. The all the lyrics and stuff for the EP, basically kind of, I guess, came from a lot of stuff like Matt was going through last year. He was, you know, can't really dive into as much as like probably he could as far as everything, but just a lot of stuff with he was going through some shit and just was going to like therapy and kind of working out a lot of stuff and kind of use the EP, the lyrics to just kind of like vent, you know, personal feelings and stuff like that. So it just kind of came from that. It was just kind of like just getting kind of like your what you had inside, kind of you know just screaming it out there, in a sense. So yeah, it was all just kind of like a very just kind of personal, just kind of letting some shit out, kind of thing.
Gotcha. A healthier outlet.
Yeah, I always say that it's like it's a good whatever you got. If you have any stuff going on or anything that's built up inside, the arts is a great way to kind of let out your whatever frustrations, anger, whatever. It's a healthy outlet to put into a creative thing. So um,
Yeah.
he did that on these songs. They kind of all three songs kind of are a very I guess lyrically theme wise are very tied together in that sense.
And I mean, you're also releasing it on Halloween, and that kind of feels, it's like perfect to have a Halloween release date. Was that deliberate, or is that just how the scheduling came out to be?
Yeah, it was just a happy accident, I guess. The just kind of felt, the tour starts on Halloween, the EP comes on a Halloween, so it's kind of all just kind of fell into place very easy. Halloween being a Friday, it helps because albums come out on Fridays. Um, but yeah, it was just kind of seemed like that was like just kind of when the business side of things with labels kind of look at like, all right, when record's done, when everything's finished, the lead in time for a release, it just kind of that would just kind of fell in on the right date. And Trivium has a very long history with the month of October, since like almost like over half our albums have come out in the month. So October is a very big anniversary celebration month for our band, since we have a very consistent schedule of always seem to put stuff out in October.
So, October is the month for Trivium, I guess.
Yeah, I think we have like 6 albums or something that came out in October.
And so, with October and it being the spooky season too, and for you, what is your favorite horror movie to revisit this time of year?
I don't actually really watch horror movies at all. I can't remember even the last time I watched one. But like back when I was a kid, I definitely was. I was into more horror stuff back when I was a kid. But that's like going way back. So like I remember like probably like if anyone mentions a horror movie, the first thing I bring up is like Nightmare on Elm Street, like Dream Warriors type shit. Like, and most of the time it's like I have more of a connection with a horror movie because they usually had a really cool theme song in the movie. So like that Dream Warriors with the Dawkins song
Yep.
was it's always something I always remember. Like I can't remember last time I watched the movie, but like that's definitely made a connection, and definitely haven't watched really any of the newer kind of stuff that is out now with all the whatever the big franchise or like Terrifier or The Conjuring or whatever any of that stuff. So I definitely don't. I think I'm more of the comedy person. So for October, I'd probably I was just talking to a friend of mine about the Scary Movie franchise.
Hmm.
So I'd probably watch the Scary Movie comedy stuff more than actual horror movie.
Gotcha. So, yes, no, Dream Warriors definitely with Dawkins, and you remember the song more than the movie itself. um, But yeah, it's so comedy guy. Okay. So my next question was going to be if you could play in a live set in a haunted location, but I guess in a unique location, where would you perform?
Uh, like in a movie or just
Yeah,
just in
like
general?
if for trivia, like if you guys can book anywhere in the world, whether it was going to be a haunted location, but since you're not a horror guy, we can go with any unique location. Where would you like to, if money and scheduling was not an issue, where would you be able to perform?
Just thinking of comedy movies and the fact that well, it's set in Florida, so it'd be an easy location for us to be in. Um, but it would be pretty hilarious to shoot a music video in the Ray Finkel's house in Ace Ventura. That would be a good one.
Okay, that would be amazing. I
Or
love
Ray
Ace
Finkel's
Ventura.
parents' house. That's like down in South, or at least it's based in South Florida. Who knows where they actually? I'm sure they probably shot it somewhere down there, but down in South Florida, Miami, that'd be pretty funny with all the Dan Marino must die stuff in the background. Would be a funny music video.
That would be hilarious. If you guys ever do that, I would just absolutely love to see that. Um, so is the new EP itself a hint that there's going to be more music next year?
Yeah. We that was kind of like because when we recorded the songs, our original idea was like we were the plan was we were supposed to be on tour all year doing the Ascendancy anniversary. So we were like, well, it's going to be a full year. We haven't put out new music in a while, so it'd be cool to just like drop like a song here or there throughout the year, to kind of like a placeholder of like, hey, it's been a while, but we still got stuff. But then once, before we could even put out a song, our plans changed. So we were like, all right, well, we got these songs and we need to kind of figure out like a new plan for the rest of the year. So the EP kind of made the most sense that we could get like all the songs out, make a release out of it, get new music out faster or quicker than we were expecting. And yeah, so we'd never done an EP, and with our record label we had a lot of new people kind of working there, so it was kind of like, hey, it's like a good little way to kind of get our working relationship fired back up with a new team and everything like that. So yeah, it was just kind of like a pivot to you know get new music out, and then it also kind of helps clear the slate with getting all the songs out that we're kind of full on into writing the next record, that we kind of like can start with a clean slate of just kind of like starting from the ground up with kind of building a vision for the next record. So the EP could be its own unique thing in our catalog, and then we can kind of move on with a fresh you know palette to kind of build the next thing on.
Nice. And I know you guys recently have a lineup change. And is Grayson gonna join Trivium permanently, or are you guys, or is he just filling in while you're looking for a new drummer?
Yeah, he's still with Sepultura. They're off. They're not touring again until I think spring or something next year. So he had a opening in the schedule that they were very cool with us borrowing Grayson for the tour. So he's doing because when everything happened, it's like we had a show, the Aftershock Festival, coming up in like less than 2 weeks. So we didn't really have a whole lot of wiggle room to dance around trying to find or talk to a lot of people. So when it all happened, he was like the first person we contacted to see if they were available, and he was like, "Yeah, I totally could, help you guys out." So we were very thankful we were able to kind of get that knocked out in a very quick fashion. So weren't like under the gun like at last minute to try to pull something out of our ass. So he's doing the tour, and then gives us time to talk to people, and then we've already talked to some people, and we got somebody we're gonna eventually bring down to Florida to our hangar to jam and just kind of vibe out. So yeah, we're just kind of utilizing, since we don't have to worry about the touring side of things for the short term. We're kind of using the time to just kind of see our options and stuff, since we've never really had, in that sense, with anytime we've had to make a lineup change, there we've never really had I guess the benefit of time to really kind of sit back and just kind of let it play out naturally without forcing or having to make a decision really quick with having to be like on a time crunch with something coming up.
Yeah, no, that's actually nice that that happened with the timing and having somebody immediately available for the tour. So that's awesome that it worked out that way. And for you guys been celebrating 20 years of Ascendancy, do you have another tour for or a different record for the future idea? Would you do this again?
Well, we were always kind of were, because the obviously the anniversary stuff touring for albums has been kind of like a popular thing for a while. And obviously, like, helps generate, if you're trying to sell tickets, it definitely is a selling point to fans with nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. And we were always like, we'd always be asked if we could do one for this record or that record. And we never were, that was never really like our thing we thought too much about. And we were always like, oh, if anyone still cares after 20 years, maybe we'll do it then. So when Ascendancy was coming up, it definitely made sense, because that record definitely was like, our first big kind of introduction to the world, and it did make an impact when it came out in a lot of places. So it made sense to do that. And then once we did the couple tours, it was a lot of fun, but also in the same sense, it was after a couple tours, it was kind of like, even though we were planning on doing the full year, like once it got kind of cut short, we were kind of like, I'm not, now it's like I'm not really too bummed that it didn't go longer, because it's kind of like you kind of missed, like when you're playing like one record, you kind of miss a lot of the other stuff that you normally would play in the set. So it definitely has been. It was nice to do, but it's also really refreshing now when we're playing to play stuff from the other records that you didn't play for so long. So it's been nice to get back to that and playing new music, and bringing songs from the other records back in the set. And this next tour, having Grayson coming in, and he's got to basically just learn the show from the ground up. That we've been throwing around ideas for songs that even the three of us haven't played live in a long time. So there should be a good fun set that has a lot of stuff that fans been coming out to shows for the last couple of years. Hopefully will be a good chunk of stuff that they haven't seen us play in a while.
Nice. So I guess it's back to getting back to the variety of everything. And looking back, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned within, I guess, the last 20 years of Trivium?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's like, at least for the last this last year, definitely we talked about it amongst ourselves and our manager. We've made a lot of like just kind of like behind the scenes like business changes to a lot of stuff, and like once we've made the change, and it might be like something that was like we had been doing or working with someone for like a long time, and then we made a switch to somebody else, and it's made a big impact in the positive side of things. That we've kind of really been kind of like just saying that, like, it's like our gut instinct has, once we feel something and we make a decision very thoroughly and quickly, that it's been a real positive move. So we've kind of just been like, if our gut is saying one thing, it's like it's been working really well for us in the last year or so. So, it's like trust your gut and just kind of go with what feels right. And it's, we kind of, I guess, learn that in the moment of just actually doing it. So it's been nice to see that when we didn't self doubt or you know I guess act slowly on something and regretting it or something. So it's been good to kind of see that when we all agree on something, feeling a certain way, it's panned out in a very positive way.
Nice. And my last question for you is, in general, like, how do you want Trivium to be, I guess, remembered for like years to come in like the history of heavy music?
Oh, um, I guess it's just like we just um, I guess for the just for the music, I guess just want to be have a catalog of music that'll stand the test of time and hopefully influence future musicians and bands and stuff like that. I feel like we've had probably like just like any other band, you might feel like you might have like I guess look back on something like I wish I did this or had more time on this or blah blah blah. But I feel like so far into our career, I feel like we have a really strong body of work in our catalog of music that I don't think we put out anything like horrendous or bad. Um, so I just hopefully like at the end of the day like just like everything we worked on or put out that is viewed upon in a very positive way that hopefully inspires the next generation to pick up an instrument or want to write music and continue the metal legacy that we came from. That we're hopefully from our influences that inspired us to do it. Hopefully, we made them proud and kind of pay it forward to the next.
Awesome. And most importantly, to remind people to pick up an instrument.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely need to learn an instrument. We don't want to I guess the next crop of metal albums to be AI generated, shit.
Yeah,
So
hopefully
you
that.
definitely need the humans to
Yes.
get on board with the instrumentation stuff. So, but I feel there's so many amazing players out nowadays. There's probably more amazing musicians now than there ever been. So I've no doubt that there's going to be plenty of awesome bands coming out that we won't have to worry about you know the scene being dry of talent.